What the fuck?
Buckle down.
So, True Detective Season 2 is over. It was kind of dumb. I like how it ended. I actually enjoyed the fact that the villains won, in a way. Because that's actually what I predicted would happen in the last episode. It's just how it was executed. There's mainly one really big thing that really bugs me about this entire episode. And just letting you know, spoilers, there's a lot of death that happened in this episode. So we came to this point where Taylor Kitsch is dead. Rachel McAdams and Colin Farrell like, shit, what are we going to do? Vince Vaughn has blown up all the clubs and he's basically pissed off all the Russians. So our characters are now forced into conflict. And that conflict was intense for the most part, especially with Vince Vaughn going all full on Scarface with hello, my little friends, with all those freaking guns. But the build up towards it was slow, admittedly, but it was still, it was kind of a necessary build up. Sure, the beginning with those two getting changed and then looking at each other was a little odd. Again, I think the whole love thing was just kind of thrown in at the end, in my opinion. Our characters basically have no option left. Sure, they have all this evidence, but what really is it going to do? They find the people who are actually behind Casper's killings, which were those two kids, which I feel I like that aspect, but the fact that they're thrown in right at the end is it's a thing that I didn't like about the last season of True Detective. I give you this teeny weeny little dip. And the thing is, though, it has no it has no effect. It really, we would have never guessed it. You want an honest interpretation of how I think this ending is? It's a bone collector ending. You throw this random character you introduced at one point in, and you throw him in as a villain. And it wasn't as climactic as we thought it would be, which is, a dip into what True Detective has with its realism and its very dark, brooding sort of atmosphere. But I don't know, I just think that was a bit of a letdown, but that's not the biggest part. That's just a little nitpick. Vince Vaughn has this superb I'm going to kill all the people who fucked with me sort of scenario where he has to make his wife go, and they have this, actually, it's a cliched, but it's a great conversation where he's telling her to leave and they'll meet here with a white dress, and it's a cliched scene, but it was played out pretty well. I love the whole thing with the wedding rings. I thought that was great. Then also he gets all those guns, which again, I don't really understand why he needed all those guns. Sure, they do have a pretty interesting scene with them, but that amount of hardware, that was interesting. Did he just assume Colin Farrell would help him mass murder Russians? And again, a great thing about this episode is we built our characters up to, yes, they're going to get away with it. And then after we hit that precipice of happiness, kaboom, explosion. Colin Farrell tries to go and see his kid. That turns out to be bad because the cops know that's where he's going to go. How they knew exactly he would do that. I thought that he would see him at home. That would have made more sense if he went to his house. But the fact that the cops were there. Okay, first thing. Why did his kid have that glass thing on the table? Was he doing it for show and tell? I couldn't imagine a reason why I would keep a really expensive looking antique sort of item just out in the open with my friends at school. The kid got his fucking Nike stolen from him. Why is he bringing that? Again, that is one of the dumb parts. There's a lot of dumb things that happen in this episode, and I'm going to list them on. When they do the meetup and they find out that basically the cops were behind those 92 killings, and then the kid screws it all up, and then the kid starts fighting with a black cop who is straight out of an 80s show, and he shoots the kid defending himself, but the cops just shoot them both. It's like that. I liked it when the cops shot the innocents in that shootout. That happens. That's collateral damage. But that was just so stupid. So there's two parts already that are dumb. Another scene that's really dumb is Colin Farrell's death. Now, the reason why I say that is, sure, it has a great build-up, and the end result with him not being able to send his son that message, that was shitty. That was awful, okay? And then the paternity test just breaks your balls even more. But he totally takes out those two guys with ease. With ease. And then he's just like, yeah, whatever. Okay, I understand that he wants Rachel McAdams to be safe, but you took out those two dudes with no issue, dude. Those guys seem to be the dumbest fucking assault soldiers of all time. Oh, another really dumb thing to that scene. Why, when he gets out of the car with the bag, He falls onto the ground and money falls out. Did you not zip
What is
it up
it with-
with these moments in films where the guys have a big bag of money and they drop it and then all the money falls out? Was the zipper did you think that was not a priority? Whenever I put something in my car, I'm pretty sure I zip it up every time, even if it doesn't have really anything in it. Especially if it had over $1 million fucking dollars in it, I would zip it. And his whole ending scene, I think that they could have done that far better. Because he was fighting to the end. Why would he just all of a sudden give up? Sure, obviously he wants Rachel McAdams to get away, but your whole point where you were trying to take these guys down, why do you let them win? I would have wanted him to die basically fighting to his last breath. Sure, it would have been like how Taylor Kitsch died, but just him getting out and just getting shot in that slow motion, that was just so cliche, Nick. Nick Palazzo, what was that? That was just silly. And then Vince Vaughn's death. At first I was really mad with that because I thought, why are you getting stabbed over your coat, dude? And then I saw the grave and I was like, oh, okay, they were going to kill him anyway. And that scene with him walking in the desert and seeing all the people who he had held back or had died because of him or he had fought against, hell, his father, those were great. I loved it because it built up this whole feeling that you think that he was going to get away. And then right when you saw his wife, you're like, shit. And then she's like, yeah, you died about like 10 feet back. It's like, oh, fuck. I liked that. I thought that was good. But again, going back to Colin Farrell's thing was stupid. I just thought that was such, we have Vince Vaughn's death, which was great. It was great symbolism. It was great visual. It was a fantastic scene. And the build-up to it was great. Colin Farrell's death is just so anticlimactic. It's so silly. It's so shoehorned in. It felt completely it ruined the whole moment. And then the whole aspect of the show ending with the bad guys winning. That was cool. I liked that. But again, there's different ways in which villains can win. And the film doesn't have to make you like the fact that the villains won. There's been films like that, like with The Vanishing. Holy crap, if you've never seen that movie, I just ruined it for you in a sense, but that has a fantastic example of the bad guys winning, and you're like, shit, that sucks. But the film still plays out fantastic from beginning to end. This whole season has been built up over this murder of this guy who is associated with these 2 execution/diamond robberies. And I don't know, the idea that these diamonds were still in his possession since 92, when the whole point of them was their worth and he didn't sell them all off. I don't know, again, when you think about the whole overall idea of the entire show with this whole conspiracy, it's actually not as big as you think. And sure, some conspiracies have been brought out of smaller ideas, are less convoluted, are similar size, but the whole end result with this huge conspiracy over these cops who did something back in 92, it was like watching a cold case episode, but higher budget? When I really think about it, the characters were great in this season. I think they were good. This season made me like Vince Vaughn. Holy shit, that's hard to do. I was cheering for this season from the beginning, even though the first episode wasn't that great, and the second one was okay. But the show started to build itself, and it was really good. Hell, the last episode was fantastic. But then this ending with, I don't know, there's all this extra shots. I don't understand why it was an hour and a half, because there's so much unnecessary footage of shit that's just throughout this episode. I don't understand why that was in there, because I didn't think that was necessary. I'm giving this episode a 3 out of 7. I know that's a bit harsh on it, but for every great point that this episode had, it had so many weak points to it. And just the stupidity of several points in this entire episode were so dumb. It weakens the overall product. I liked how this show went. I like how it ends with the villains winning, but just its execution is its biggest weakness, and it fails badly with that. So in the end, guys, that is it. It's all done. This took me 3 times because my camera screwed up and I'm using this other one. But what did you guys think of this whole season? Did you enjoy it? Did you think it was as good as the last one? Did you think it's not that great? Again, as I said, the season overall is great. I would recommend it. I just would say be prepared for an ending that kind of just does a Game of Thrones cliche and just kills characters for the sake of killing them. Vince Vaughn's character's death, I understand. Colin Farrell's not so much. So anyway, that's it. I'm done. I've talked for long enough. If you guys want to check out any of my previous reviews, I've got a link down below to my playlist, and I hope you've enjoyed these reviews. I hope they've been okay. I thank you guys for your comments and whatnot about like certain ones about just talking about how I should do the episode instead of just talking about it, go into my thoughts and whatnot. That was one really helpful one. And thanks to BarTube too. If you guys haven't you didn't see that, she recommended me a few episodes ago on her show, and she's great because whatever I've missed, like, which has been a few things in some episodes, she's fantastic. She not only gives you an entire idea of what happened in the episode, but then she gives her own interpretation of it, and she's really good. She's like shit. She notices things that I don't even notice. So anyway, to you, BarTube, what do you think? I am very interested in what your next video will be for this. Did you enjoy it? Really, my question to you, BarTube, is what do you think overall? Is this better than the last season? I'm really interested in that. And just like every aspect, characters, writing, end result. So anyway, that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed these reviews. I think I'll do Supernatural. That will be difficult because that's 22 episodes instead of 8. But yeah, anyway, that's all. See you guys. Thank you for watching, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
Buckle down.